Welcome back, Geometry. In this video, we'll be doing some standard level practice with special angle pairs. So let's go ahead and get started. So the instructions for both of these problems indicate that they want us to solve for z in each diagram below. And we're given some angle measures and some expressions to help us figure out what the value for z might be. Okay, so let's start off by looking at A. So I see the expressions that I already have in the diagram, and I know that the angles that I'm marking in blue here, these are corresponding angles. So corresponding angles are congruent. Okay, now the 10x minus 7, and I see that makes a straight line with the 7x, the angle label, that's 7x. And so if two angles make a straight line or a straight angle, that means that those are supplementary. So I'm going to use that to help me solve for x, which would help me find both of those angle measures, which would then help me find z. So let's go ahead and solve for x first. So I know that the red and the blue angle that I just marked are supplementary, which means they add up to 180 degrees. So the expression I can set up is 10x minus 7 plus 7x equals 180 degrees, because again, they make a straight angle and straight angles measure 180 degrees. The next thing I want to do is combine any like terms I see. Well, 10x plus 7x, I can combine those and that will get me 17x. Then I just want to copy down the rest of my equation. Okay. All right, so now I can go ahead and actually solve for x. And I'm going to add 7 to both sides. And I get 17x equals 187. And the last step is going to be to divide both sides by 17. So 187 divided by 17 is going to be 11. So now we know that x equals 11. Let's go ahead and plug that in to the angles that we have so that we can have a clearer picture for ourselves. So that red angle, 7 times 11 is 77. So this angle measures 77 degrees. And then in the other angle, we would have to do 10 times 11 minus 7. So 10 times 11 is 110. Minus 7 would mean that this angle is 103 degrees, which makes sense because 103 and 77 are supplementary angle measures. Okay, so now let's go ahead and find the value of C. As stated before, and I'm going to highlight again in yellow, we know that this angle and this angle are corresponding angles. I'm going to go ahead and write that here. These are corresponding angles, and corresponding angles are congruent to each other. So if the blue angle is 103 degrees, that means this angle must also be 103 degrees. And we're done with that one. Okay, let's go ahead and do B. So similar practice, we want to find the value of y, and then we want to use that to find any angle measures that are in the diagram to help me find z. So at first glance, I can see that I've got this angle and this angle marked. Looking at my diagram, I can see that those angles are vertical angles, and vertical angles are congruent. So the expression I can set up is 9y plus 1 equals 6y plus 40. And then I can go ahead and solve for y. I'm going to subtract 6y on both sides. So I get 3y plus 1 equals 40. Subtract 1 on both sides. And I get 3y equals 39. And the last step, we're going to divide by 3. So we get y equals 13. Okay. The next thing I want to do is go ahead and plug that in. So I'm going to plug that in over here. 9 times 13 plus 1. 9 times 13 is 117 plus 1. So that means then that this angle is 118 degrees. Now, this angle that I just marked is 118. And the z, those are corresponding angles. So if that's 118 degrees, that means that the value of z is also 118 degrees. If you were doing it another way, you could also recognize that the angle that is opposite is also 118 degrees. And this angle in pink and the z angle are alternating exterior angles, which are also congruent. So either way, you get the same answer.